Continuing in Pirkei Avos with the second parak, Rebbe Omer Ezi Derech Yeshav Shayav Lo Ha'adam, which is the Derech Yeshara, the path, the straight path, the right way. Kol Shi Teferes Lo Seh V'Teferes Lo Min Ha'adam. If it's brings splendor and glory to God into you, a fascinating hashkafic point. Not what I want to spend too much time on right now, but the Derech Yeshara is the goal is to bring glory and splendor, simcha and happiness, to figure out some way that works within the Rabbanu Shalom's construct. You should be happy yourself to have the two of those together. I'm a big believer the things that life are all about is synthesizing or maybe accomplishing truth and happiness, which is probably rooted in that. Truth is what God wants, and happiness is what you want. And then the part of the mission which I want to focus upon, which is V'havi Zahir b'mitzvah kala kivachomra she'ata yodeh ma'an schar shel mitzvahs. And before we share really the main topic, which is what that mission even means, it's a big machlokas, as we'll see. There's just a side point, which is what's a mitzvah kala? Worthwhile to point out the Rambam famously points to two mitzvahs. One is simchas harega, which is not as famous. Number two is lemidas lashon hakodesh. According to the Rambam over here, it seems like learning lashon hakodesh is a mitzvah, and that's the mitzvah kala. Unless you say, oh, it's just a mitzvah kala, that's the whole point of the mitzvah. The Mishnah that don't mitzvahs kala, have zar mitzvah kala. You should be zar with the mitzvah kala. And therefore, learning Lashon HaKodesh may be a mitzvah daraisa, darabana. Presumably, it's not daraisa. Who knows? It's into the hechsher, the Talmud Torah. Interesting, because the Ram doesn't mention this in the Taryag mitzvahs. He doesn't mention this in the Mishnah Torah. But over here in the Perish Mishnah, he does mention it. I should point out, it's worthwhile to discuss. It's Ivrit HaModernity, the modern Hebrew that we have. Have the status of Lashon HaKodesh? Sort of Shechter Shli to say numerous times, yes, he thinks languages develop and change. And Lashon HaKodesh starts out in the times of the Chumash, and the Nach is already a little bit different signonym, different small little differences. Certainly, Mishnahis changes in rabbinic literature of the Rishonim, because it changes, languages develop. And I asked from Nevin Sal myself, and Nevin Sal said, no, modern Hebrew is not. A lot of the words are, maybe the most of the words are. Some yes, some no, he thought. In other words, the modern words, everyone agrees that the parts of the modern Hebrew that are the same as Tanakh, that's for sure is Lashon HaKodesh. Maybe more, maybe not. Fascinating machlokas, but not my topic. Let's get into our topic right now. What does the mitzvah mean? What does the Mishnah mean? Pardon me, when it says "V'havi zahir b'mitzvah kala kivachor." Be zahir, careful, cautious with a mitzvah kala, a light mitzvah, a smaller mitzvah, a softer mitzvah kivachor. Okay, that's straightforward. And here comes the line that's subject to machlokas. She'ata yodeh ma'an schar shel mitzvahs. Because you don't know ma'an schar shel mitzvahs. What's that line doing there? So the simple pshat, and I think what Rashi and the Rambam subscribe to, is that you don't know what schar there is. You don't know what type of reward you're getting, and therefore, you don't know which is a schar, a kala, and you don't know which is a chamura. You don't know which is which. In other words, you're like, oh, there's just a kala. I don't do it. No, you don't know what the schar is, and therefore, the goal, was of the Torah was not to let you know which mitzvahs give you more or less. This way, you'll do them all. There's a mashal also that Rashi quotes of a gardener who has some trees he likes a lot and some not so much. And a part of the balabais, and he tells the gardener, take care of all of them, because otherwise the gardener will just take care of the ones that he wants. And this way, when you don't know, when there is a lack of information, you got to cover your bases. You got to hedge your bets. You got to cover them all. And that seems to be the pshat in Rashi and the Rambam. That seems to be the pashup pshat in the Mishnah. Do all the mitzvahs, both kalos and chamuros, because you don't know which is which. You don't want to accidentally mess up and miss, a mitzvah chamura. Says the Rabbeinu Yonah in the name of Aval, and the Rabbeinu Yonah quotes that day as well. Then the Rabbeinu Yonah quotes a second day, which I thought was fascinating. He said, and it's mashma in the Ramban and in the Parshas Bo as well, in Sefer Shmos, in the Ramban there as well. It says the second mahalach, which we're about to say. Aval Rabbeinu HaKadosh Zichrono Levracha Hiflig B'Davar V'Nasan Tam L'Davar Chazak Ma'od. Rabbeinu HaKadosh, and who he's referring to, offers an alternative. Read, and he says, She'en ata yodeh man schar shel mitzvahs. What does it mean? But kamashu gadol shafilu hi mitzvah kala schar gavoal ad lamala. In other words, you should be careful with the mitzvah kala kivachomra, because you don't realize the unbelievable amount of schar you get from mitzvahs kalas. In other words, you think you're going to be mezalzel on a mitzvah kala. Do you realize what a mitzvah kala is? Do you realize what 1 second of olam haba is? Do you realize what schar is? Do you realize this incredible sense of reward? And therefore, according to this Daya and Rabbeinu Yonah, the Mishnah's second line is not telling you don't know it, therefore hedge your bets. But even mitzvah kala has off the charts incredibly high, maximum a sizable amount of reward, and therefore it's in your interest to do it, not because you don't know, because even a little is incredibly high and a tremendous amount. Fascinating machlokes. Okay, so lastly, one last point to make with this, we'll finish, and this is like a fascinating point as well. The Mishnah seems to indicate that the reason why one should do mitzvahs, at least according to Rashi, the Rambam, the first day of Rabbeinu Yonah, is because you don't really know the schar of mitzvos, but seemingly there is a hierarchy of mitzvahs. And the Rambam maybe spells out the clearest. The Rambam tells you, for lo taseis, it's not even true. If it has a chi of misa, that's the worst, and a chi of karis one step less, and malchus one step less. But for the assays, most of the assays, we don't really know how much reward we get. And therefore, because we know you got to hedge your bets, you got to do it all, you got to do all the mitzvos, because you don't know how much reward you're going to get for the different mitzvahs assay. That's what the Rambam seems to say. However, again, the underlying assumption is that there is a hierarchy, there is gradations, and presumably it's based upon whether it's a mitzvah kala or a mitzvah chamura, whether it's a really important mitzvah or a moderately important mitzvah, whether it's very, very important or not so much. That seems to be the shita of the Rambam, and now he understands our Mishnah. However, the Mishnah elsewhere in Pirkei Avos says that schar is allocated lefum tzara agra, based upon how much effort and pain and energy you put into it. In other words, if a person has lefum tzara, a person puts a lot of work in it, and it's a lot of painful and sacrifice, they get more reward. When I was younger, they used to joke around about like some kid, public school kid, a Baal Tshuva kid from NCSY, who used to walk up the hill 4 miles to shul, both ways up the hill. Mamish, like a tremendous Mesiras Nefesh story. That's like epitomizes this lefum tzara agra. And therefore the Mishnah kind of spells out there are two different variables as to how the Torah allocates schar. Is it based upon the content, the quality of the mitzvah, or is it based upon how hard you work? Is it mitzvahs, but there is a hierarchy, which is our Mishnah, or lefum tzara agra, which is much more subjective, depending on how hard you work. I don't know if I would call this a machlokes. Presumably both days are true. The question is and how much one weighs in versus the other. I guess it could be a machlokes, but these seem to be the two variables. I think it plays out in 2 days in the Ritva as well in Maseches Kedushin. The Gemara Maseches Kedushin has a whole story. I'm going to kind of cut to the chase because we're short on time. That at the end of the day, the Gemara says that when the Torah gives reward, it gives more reward when you are commanded than when you're not. When a person's commanded, they get more schar. Gadol mitzuva v'oseh, mimishe'eno mitzuva v'oseh. There's more schar, more reward when you're mitzuva v'oseh than eno mitzuva v'oseh. Eno mitzuva v'oseh. If you're not commanded, you do get some reward, but if mitzuva, you get even more. Why is that the case? If anyone's interested, in addition to the 2 days of the Ritva that I'll share with you momentarily, there's a Tosfos right there, both in Maseches Kedushin. I guess it's Daf Lamed, Chavtes, that area, Lamed Aleph, that area, I forgot exactly where. And there's a Tosfos in Avodah Zarah as well. However, I want to show to you 2 days that the Ritva has right there in Maseches Kedushin. One day the Ritva says is that there's a greater Yetzer Hara. The greater the Yetzer Hara, the greater the challenge, the greater the reward, because that makes a lot of sense. When you work hard and you beat your Yetzer Hara, you get more reward. And there's more of a Yetzer Hara when there's a tzivoy. When someone says do it, there's like a natural, almost like knee-jerk reaction to not want to do it. I don't want to. I want to do what I want to do. I'll serve God the way I want to. And then when it's a tzivoy, when it's commanded, when it's obligatory, when it's mandatory, there's more schar because of the greater Yetzer Hara. Then the Ran has, the Ritva. The Ran also has this. Then the Ritva has a second day. The Ritva says the reason why there's more schar for greater for mitzvah is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu values tzivoy more. That's actually why he was mitzaveh you. In other words, the things God really, really, really wanted you to do, he said you have to do these. Things he didn't care that much, he said, okay, you can or not. Things you have to do, that's a tzivoy. There's more reward because inherently there's more value. Things that you don't have to do, okay, so that's nice, go for it, but it's not necessary. These 2 days, the Ritva are gufa, these 2 days, Ritva are gufa, the two variables that the Mishnayos have. On the first shita of the Ritva, the first opinion that we quoted, where the Ritva argues that you get reward based upon your Yetzer Hara. That's how hard you work. That's lefum tzara agra. However, the second opinion of the Ritva, schar is not allocated based upon how hard you work, but rather about the value of the mitzvah. Things that have a tzivoy have inherently more value. That sounds much more like us, that the schar is the inherent nature of the value. Yeta yodea man schara shel mitzvahs.